Time now for sports on 104.7 The Cave. Here's Ned Reynolds.
Mike the Intern, Ned Reynolds in the studio on a frozen over Monday morning. So Ned and I both slipped in here and in a pretty good mood. My Kansas City Chiefs are going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and the football is great. But if I ever thought that, no, I can handle winter, that just went out the window. I hate this stuff, but so does everybody else. At least I hope they do anyway, except the kids. It's a good game, solid game. Kansas City had the better of the two teams. I've always said all along that Kansas City has the best team in the NFL, and I will stick to that prediction. Although I was born and raised a Philadelphia fan, okay, over and above all of that, Kansas City's defense was absolutely spectacular. They sacked Joe Burrow 5 times. Chris Jones was in the backfield more than the backs for the Bengals were. He's in there, camped out there, really raising hell with the QB, and that really made a big difference. The completions that Burrow had were minimal at the very best, except for the touchdown pass. That was very good. 26 of 41, 270 yards, 2 picks by Kansas City. And the team itself rushed for 71 yards. That's all. Most of the rushing done by, of course, Samaje Perine, who's a great running back. Mixon didn't do very much at all. I was very surprised. I was totally surprised by the Bengals' attack. It did not at all manifest what I thought it would be. I thought they put a lot more pressure on Kansas City, and they may have. It may be their whole defensive scheme didn't get untracked, and Kansas City's offensive line did a very good job. Now, Mahomes did get hit a couple times, did scramble, did show some ill effects. He was limping and hobbling, but he's also a gutsy guy and a pro, and I thought got out there and played for him very well. Now, I say for him very well, healthy, no, he didn't play very well.
No, but given the circumstances.
He's not healthy.
No.
That's just it. And he will have to, unless he strained it too badly or irritated it too badly, he'll have 2 weeks now to recover completely, and he'll be back at full strength. But a very interesting game, a gutsy game, and certainly a deserved victory. At the time, though, and I still, at this point, what on earth is Joseph Osai thinking of when he pushes Mahomes out about? That's the stupidest play. And at the bench, for heaven's sake, with all the officials there and the players, what on earth went through his head? I have no idea. Maybe he doesn't have a head.
Obviously, Coach Taylor said it didn't come down to one play, but that doesn't help anything at all.
It did in that case.
It did, well, definitely it did in that case. But again, we still had to make a field goal and put our whole season on the shoulders of a guy who was missing extra points like they were giving out free candy on Halloween. So, but he pulled it through, put it through, and we won. I got to give it up again to Chris Jones. He was a bad man, and those guys up front looked so angry of all the trash that was talked all week, and they looked like they were going to kill that dude.
Well, I think they were. You had to be incensed by some of the bulletin board material that the Bengals put online for them for everybody to see. I'm going to throw just a caveat in there. Yes, Chris Jones was sensational. He's a good player. He's an all-pro, has been around. He's big, he's fast, he's hard to handle. But Cincinnati's offensive line is compromised. They were missing 3 of their starters, and it didn't affect them against Buffalo, but it certainly did against Kansas City, which is a better team. Kansas City's better than Buffalo. And as a matter of fact, I was a little surprised that they didn't try to double-team Jones and keep him out of there, but did not, and as a result, as we mentioned, it's defense that won the game for them. Let's talk a little bit about the NFC Championship game, which absolutely surprised the daylights out of me. I did not think Philadelphia – I thought Philadelphia would win, but I did not think it would be anywhere near that lopsided 31-7. San Francisco has the number 1 defense in the NFL. Number 1 defense, although Kansas City did torch them for 44 points earlier this season. And Philadelphia lights them up for 31. A little bit surprised at the level of that game. The injury to Brock Purdy certainly affected what they were going to do. Josh Johnson, nobody had ever heard of him before, comes in, and he was clearly not ready for that circumstance. And Purdy's injury, I think, was probably a very big deal. Here's Christian McCaffrey, though. Get this, Mike. Christian McCaffrey rushed for 84 yards in that game, and nobody else was in double figures. That was it. In fact, one of the runners had -9. It was just a really interesting concept in what San Francisco presented and how Philadelphia defends them. Philadelphia's a good team. Sirianni's done a terrific job with that football team. They're no fluke. That'll be a very good Super Bowl game, and it presents a lot of local stories. Here's Andy Reid coaching against his old team, and here's Sirianni, who was a Kansas City Chiefs coach for a number of seasons back in 2009, 2010, 2011, somewhere. In fact, that's where he met his wife, who is a Springfield Glendale gal. So his in-laws live here in town. So there is plenty of local connection to this and a lot of storylines, and it'll be a lot of fun.
You can't write anything better. What an incredible season to root for your favorite team in the world. Just watching the trophy presentation last night, it felt really good. It was, like I said, all I could ever ask from this team is give me a season to root for, and they sure as hell did, and they sure as hell will. And I think it's going to be a hell of a test for the...
Sure as hell, but they did. They did get a win, yes, and a good win against a tough team on a very cold night. In fact, I'm a little surprised they had the full house that they did up at Arrowhead. It was not comfortable at all up there, but nonetheless, fans were there, and the noise made a difference.
Oh, yeah.
Cincinnati's been there before. They know what the situation is, but still, I think it caused a disruption. It did in officiating. Mm-hmm. There were a couple of calls that weren't heard.
Yep. That guy trying to blow the play dead, running onto the field, and then they had to stop it and go back, and even the guys in the booth said, we didn't hear anything, no. And that's because the crowd was in it. So if you were there, thank you for your service.
And there is nothing wrong with that. That is fine. That's part of the game. If you can get your fan base that loud, hey, go for it. Do it. That's the way it should be.
The Kansas City Chiefs will face off with the Philadelphia Eagles in Arizona. Super Bowl happening 2 weeks from yesterday. What are the odds?
Odds
so
are
far?
already out, interestingly enough, and Philadelphia's been listed as a 2.5-point favorite in this one. A little surprised at that. Kansas City, folks, is, in my opinion, a better football team, but Sirianni has done a great job with this football team, and they're there to play. This is also a battle of brothers, too. Jason Kelce is the Philadelphia Eagles center, and of course, everybody knows who Travis Kelce is. But a 2.5-point pick, Philadelphia, Super Bowl 57. It'll be in Phoenix, and it is February 12th. February 12th. We're still playing football in February. Good gracious sakes alive. But the way they have it, and that's the way it's going to be.
Pretty quickly it became a pick'em, like right out of the gate. But the over-under, at least right off of ESPN, is 49.5. So
that's what it is, 49.5.
We'll see.
But who has it as a pick'em?
They have an opening line pick'em, ESPN.
That must be ESPN, because the bookies have it as 2.5.
Yeah, the money's already starting to come in. Rapper Drake put $1 million on the Chiefs last night, and so he made like 2.3, I think, off that. Isn't that crazy? You have the position to put $1 million on a sport, man. Congratulations to him as well, as if he needed it. All right, let's talk about something a little bit more local. College basketball. We had, the Bears back out on the court this weekend?
Bears and Drury were both on the court. The Bears played on the road in Murray, Kentucky, and outshot the Murray State Racers significantly, both from the field and from three-point range, which is, of course, still the field, but not from the foul line, and that's where the game was won. Murray State wins it by a score of 74-71, and again, the Bears were right there shooting very well. They shot over 47% foul line. Missouri State 10 of 15 from the foul line. Murray State 21 of 24, and therein lies the basketball game right there. Physical contest, but the Bears lose that one at Murray State. Murray has to play over here, of course, and things may be a whole lot different when that happens. As far as the Lady Bears are concerned, significant victory over Drake on Saturday afternoon. Drake is a power in the Missouri Valley Conference, so are the Lady Bears for that fact. And Missouri State absolutely dominated Drake, winning it by 10, 64-54. The Drury teams split their doubleheader over at the O'Reilly Family Event Center, playing Rockhurst. Lady Panthers win in a close game. Now, keep in mind, this Lady Panthers team is 20-1 on the year, and they are number 2 in America in Division II. Rockhurst gave them a very tough time. Drury won it 80-73. That for them is precipitously close. As far as the men were concerned, not close, and Rockhurst won that one going away. The Drury men's team is 7-14 on the year. So we have a couple of wins, and the Mizzou Tigers, winners over Iowa State in the Big 12 SEC shootout. So we have a lot going on, and some very good basketball forthcoming in the next, well, we're approaching tournament time, so that in and of itself presents some very good basketball.
We're only going to be ramping up, not ramping down. All right, Down Under had a little bit of tennis, and we had a male and female winner in the Australian Open. Who were they?
The ladies' winner is Aryna Sabalenka, and she won her match very early on Saturday morning, beat a fellow. There's such a rivalry in Russia that it's unfair to say that they are compatriots, because they aren't. One's from Belarus and the other from Russia, but it is Sabalenka who gets the victory in straight sets. Now, as far as the men are concerned, Novak Djokovic. He was seeded fourth in this competition, and he wins it. And he wins it with a big win over Stefanos Tsitsipas, and he does so in straight sets. And for Djokovic, huge win. Number 22. That's the 22nd Grand Slam title, and that ties the record. Next time out, and Djokovic is playing very well. He's not a kid anymore. He's approaching his mid-30s, but my goodness sake, can he play. He still fires that ball over the... He can just play the game. Next up is as far as the majors are concerned, will be the French Open. That's right around the Memorial Day holiday here in late May, early June. Be a good test. It's on clay. It's the only one of the majors on clay, but it'll be a very good test for all these players. But here is Djokovic back in the winner's circle again.
Good to see it. I know you're getting excited because this also means that we're going to have tennis, golf, and a lot of basketball for the next few months, Ned. I'm going to have to get you back out to the car. We should probably get that thing started so you can get out of here. Put the salt down. Have a great day, sir.